Rick Grenell exits Kennedy Center presidency after backlash from artists and LGBTQ groups. This includes canceled shows and pride events during Tenure.
Despite milestones like Brokeback Mountain and Moonlight, LGBTQ creators and actors remain underrepresented at the Oscars, while advocates are still pushing for authentic inclusion.
A California State University meeting turns heated as Professor Jamie O'Quinn defended trans women athletes criticizing officials amid a federal Title IX dispute.
Hotspots magazine makes history, featuring FayWhat show host FayWhat as its first female cover model in 41 years.
Congressional testimony alleges DOGE officials used AI to flag and cancel over 1,400 federal grants mentioning LGBTQ topics during spending cuts.
All this important LGBTQ plus news and a whole lot more this evening on Queer News Tonight. Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ daily news television show broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels.
Analytics company vidIQ has certified the Queer News Tonight YouTube channel as the world's most popular LGBTQ streaming news show. Our queer stories have reached over 12 million views.
We are proud that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ brand in Florida.
We thank you for watching and supporting our voice in our rainbow family.
There's no other news program in the LGBTQ world like Queer News Tonight.
It is Monday, March 16th. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we will tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
You're watching Queer News Tonight, the world's first daily LGBTQ evening news show.
Welcome to the world's most important LGBTQ evening news show.
Hotspots magazine, Happening Out Television Network, is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model as PBS and NPR, but created for the LGBTQ community.
Our nonprofit mission is to support the 11 pillars of our community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture. Help us support our diverse community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ plus nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots Magazine and Happening Out Television Network. Happening Out Hotspots is a proud beneficiary of the 2026 Florida AIDS Walk this weekend, standing strong by our healthcare pillar.
In 2026, our magazine is celebrating 41 years of the LGBTQ experience, and Queer News Tonight is celebrating our 5th anniversary with more than 14,000 LGBTQ television stories. We present South Florida's major LGBTQ events, including Pride Fort Lauderdale, Stonewall Pride, Pride Fete. Our magazine, events, television news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ and broader community.
In 2026, more than 100 community leaders will sit at this very table and share their voice as anchors. Together, we host a show to support the LGBTQ plus community. Let's meet this evening's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome anchor Edward Otto Zielke, an accomplished brand influencer and marketing leader with a dynamic background in financial services and travel marketing. Edward currently serves as a director of marketing and sponsorship for the world famous Gay Men's Chorus of South Florida. He also serves on the Gala Chorus's communications committee. Welcome back to the show, Edward. How you feeling? How you doing? How was your weekend?
Oh my good, my weekend was completely chill.
You got a chill weekend?
I got a chill weekend. I took my phone and I unplugged it and put it away, and then I just kind of enjoyed my whole weekend, just not thinking about anything, because I've got a really big weekend coming up.
You kind of do, okay? So next weekend we have the Florida AIDS Walk, but you also, that is sandwiched in between two of your incredible concerts, one being the ABBA concert that I'm so looking forward to. They're both ABBA concerts, I mean, in their own right, yes.
Yeah, there's two ABBA concerts. We've got one on Friday that's sold out at the Parker. That's March 20th. It's ABBA, Thank You for the Music. That's sold out about about maybe 2 or 3 months prior to that, so we were thrilled. And so we decided to open up a second show right here in Sunshine Cathedral, and that's going to be on Sunday. So we got about maybe less than 100 tickets left for that. So go on gmcsf.org, and you'll be able to get those last-minute tickets there. So yeah, it's a big weekend coming up for us.
Yeah, it's a big weekend. And also, Edward is going to be celebrating his birthday next week as well. So it is a jam-packed, all right? So go and see him at the concert, give him a big-ass hug, and go, I love you, happy birthday.
Yeah. Just don't give me any spankings, because, you know, that's not my thing.
No, you know. He only likes that behind closed doors, not out in public. He's got a, you know,
I got someone that manages that for me at home.
Oh my God. Big shout out going to Andrew. Hi. Thank you so much, Edward, for being back at the table at Queer News Tonight.
Thank you.
Let's welcome to the table for the first time anchor Manëësh Chatman. Manëësh is an Army veteran, a healing practitioner, and executive director of Love and Light Internal New Consciousnesses. Right? Could I say that? Consciousness. I added extra S's. I apologize. As Director of Harmonizing Masculinity Collective and Senior Management Consultant for Transinclusive Group, Manëësh advances trans-masculine healing, housing access, advocacy mentorship, and inclusive leadership. Manëësh, so Transinclusive Group is going to host a talent show and Trans Day of Visibility. Let us know what's going on.
So Transinclusive Group is hosting 2 inspiring community events this March in South Florida, celebrating creativity and visibility. On March 21st from 8 p.m. to midnight, the Quiet Revolution Community Unplugged Mixer is hosting a trans-masculine talent show. We invite community members to share their voices through performances and artistic expression. The evening promises authentic storytelling, creativity, and a welcoming space where attendees can celebrate identity and collective joy. The private venue location will be shared with registered guests. If you aren't following us already, follow us on Harmonizing Mask Collective on Instagram. Details will be available on transinclusivegroup.org/events. Later in the month, the organization will host a Transgender Day of Visibility celebration on March 31st from 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. at the Pride Center at Equality Park. The event will feature live entertainment performances and opportunities for community members and allies to gather in an affirming environment that uplifts transgender lives and experiences. These events are designated to strengthen community connections while honoring the transgender voices. More details on our social media and at transinclusivegroup.org/events.
You got a lot going on, Manëësh.
Yes.
But 2 incredible events. Like, my goodness.
Yes.
So on the 21st, basically an open mic night, right? Like, whatever you want to bring your talent to do, you can.
Well, it's more so an intentional retreat gathering. Because this mixer is actually in coordination with our retreat, which is the Echoes of Peace, the Quiet Revolution retreat. We wanted to have an intentional space where trans-masculine folks' voices are spotlighted and heard. And so what we wanted to do was give each of our members that are coming to the retreat an opportunity for that visibility that we need right now, especially with the climate that's happening. And so with that, we also invited a few other trans-masculine identifying folks to come in and also share their talents inside of the mixer. And we wanted community to come together so that we can go ahead and build that intentional solidarity amongst us.
Oh, I love that even more. I love that even more. There are very few places and spaces for trans masked men. I mean, there really is. You hardly ever really hear of it. I mean, mostly it's been known in our community forever that, like, you know, trans men kind of like go into society and just live life, right? You know, free like they want to. And unfortunately and fortunately, we don't really get to have events like this. And you're giving a place that's a safe space for someone to come and share their talent with other people, you know, and be spotlighted for it. So have people signed up already? Like, what do you know? Like, are people singing? Are people doing spoken word? Are people doing poetry?
So it's a mix. It's a mix. We have so many talented people. We have someone who actually creates his own music. He's all over social media. I will also be doing spoken word
Nice.
pieces. We
Okay.
have someone who's actually playing his guitar while singing. So it's a wide array of people who will be performing that night. So we're pretty excited about
I
it.
love that. I love that. Okay. And when you buy tickets or when you register, that's when you get the location place, right? Because
Yes.
we always want to keep it safe.
It's being sent automatically to you after you register.
Okay, so folks, when you see the flyer, don't be sending Manëësh no message going, there's no location on this. You messed up. They didn't, okay? It's for a reason, all right? Let's move over and talk about one of my favorite events of the year, which is Trans Day of Visibility. The folks who perform every year at the Pride Center are mind-blowing. They give us 2 hours and we're usually there for 4 because we just have such a blast in community, eating good food, partaking with organizations that support what we're trying to do in being inclusive. And they take up the whole Equality Park. I mean, there is tables and tables and tables of wonderful organizations that are showing you, not just talking, they're showing up.
Right.
You know, so I look forward to Trans Day of Visibility every year, and it's coming up on the 31st. It's always on the 31st. Don't listen to the crazy news. Always on the 31st. We didn't move it to Easter to be funny last year, okay? It was the day that it landed on. Hi, people sometimes. Anyway, tell me a little bit about Trans Day of Visibility from your seat.
Well, you're hosting, so that's the wonderful thing. That's the wonderful thing, by the way. FayWhat is hosting. So the wonderful thing about Transinclusive Group and Tatiana, who is the executive director of Transinclusive Group, such a beautiful soul. The wonderful thing is, of course, now, of course, I've already mentioned the visibility piece, but it also gives us a space to control that narrative that we're having to combat these days. Being intentional about getting folks in front. I'm also going to be performing then too.
Yeah.
In a space of visibility for trans masculine folks. So having that space every year to highlight the celebration, not just the space where we're having to highlight where we're passing for one reason or another, but having a space to celebrate our resilience. The fact that no matter, they keep telling us that you're not people that don't deserve the basic human rights of life. We're still choosing to thrive in a climate where they would just wish we would just kind of disappear.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
So I'm very grateful for T-Dove every year.
Oh my God. And thank you to the Pride Center, and thank you for Transinclusive Group for putting it together. They are the heart of TDOV, right? They are the ones who said, okay, we're going to do this Trans Day of Visibility event, but we're going to invite the other transgender organizations to be a part of it, you know?
Right.
A lot of times in nonprofit, it's like, no, mine, you can't. If you come to my party, you can't go to their party. You know, it's not like that with Transinclusive Group. They're like, no, Trans Social, come on in. You know, we need you. Trans Ed, come on over here. You know, I mean, and another even gay organizations, you know what I mean? They're like, come on, let's go. Let's be a part of it, you know?
The battle, as we go through this, we'll see that the battle is not just with one group of people. It's literally everybody underneath the umbrella that considers themselves to be queer, LGBTQ, any part of that. Everybody is pretty much a subject for a fire.
Hashtag that part. Please. John, you go with me every year. I mean, you also are the first one they're setting up. He gets there early to things. So just, deal with it, you know what I mean? But like, you've seen how it's grown. I mean, there's at least 200 people there every year, even more. I mean,
you always go. This is one of the most well-attended events consistently year over year that we get to do in our community. And I get there early. I like to get a little video of it. I like to do interviews. Like sometimes the host will be very gracious and give me an interview before we get started. So it's worth getting there. And it's worth getting there early just for the food, because the food is always
They don't play around.
Yeah.
When it comes to Transinclusive, they don't play around with the food. You don't understand. Like they have like forums and they have events, and they always have food. You know what I mean? I will show up at the wrong event and be like, "Oh, it's a trans mask event. You sure I can't get food, right?" You know what I mean? Because they throw down.
Well, at our event, we will have food because Harmonizing Masculinity Collective is a program up underneath Transinclusive Group. So we do
See?
get that. Yeah.
But am I lying though?
You ain't lying.
No, I'm not.
We're
I
gonna feed
mean,
y'all.
they have incredible fellowship meetings over at Transinclusive Group on Thursday evenings, and they have all these different kind of events you wouldn't even know. Go and follow them so you could find out for sure. Like Manëësh said, I am hosting. I think this is my 4th year hosting, and I can't tell you how ridiculously humbled I am by the fact that I get to host this event. I am not a trans woman. I'm not trying to represent them. They don't need me at all to lead them this evening. I went to Tatiana and Adriana a couple of years ago and said, I don't know what the F to do. I'm a cisgendered lesbian, Latina, and I got to do more for you, but I don't know what it is, okay? I don't have an organization. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. What can I do? We'll put you to work, girl.
Right.
We'll give you a call in the week. I got the call in a week. And since then, that's been my job every year, is to host that event. So thank you, Transinclusive Group. Thank you to the whole team over there. Tatiana, Chris, Adriana, my sister, I love you. Manëësh, all you folks for everything that you do, because the fight is here and you're at the front lines fighting.
Right.
You're not letting anybody stand in your way. And we're all here to walk with you in whatever capacity we can.
Ashe, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at these events. So mark your calendar, all right? The Quiet Revolution Community Unplugged Mixer on March 21st, and also Trans Day of Visibility on March 31st. So March 21st and March 31st, okay? And you can get all that information by following Transinclusive Group on Instagram. Let's welcome anchor John Hayden. Yes, a journalist for 31 years. He now focuses on hyper-local reporting, covering LGBTQ plus issues, Wilton Manors, Lauderdale by the Sea, Fort Lauderdale, and Oakland Park. You can see all his reports at Greater Wilton Manors on YouTube and Facebook, as well as in the New Pelican, Outclick, Out South Florida, and once again right here at the table at Queer News Tonight. Welcome back, John.
Oh, Faye, thank you so much. It's a busy week. We're in a busy season right now. Lots of events going on.
There's a lot going on, and you were at least 5 over the weekend. Yeah. How are you keeping up? Are you drinking coffee?
No, I'm drinking a lot of water.
Oh, you got to stay hydrated, bro.
Drinking a lot of water. And that's the thing. I can't even have wine when I go out to all these events, because otherwise I would just be so dehydrated. Don't even think about intoxicated. I'd be so dehydrated. But can I tell you about a story that I'm working on?
Oh, my God, please. I was going to ask you. What's up? Yeah.
So Donald Trump's name is being completely removed from Sea Grape Drive in Lauderdale by the Sea. It's caused a lot of fuss over the last 6 or 7 months, but it's coming down. And his name won't be on any street sign.
Wow.
Nice.
But didn't they vote on this sign actually being put up? And like, I remember the first story when you went to the commission meeting, and then I remember seeing on Greater Wilton Manors their sign, and that it said Donald Trump really small, and I was like, good, at least like it's penis. So I was okay with it, you know. But then something else happened. Like, people were rioting. They were like, hell no, we don't want this name on our street.
So yeah, to a certain extent, people have been hurt. It's not 100% victory. I'm still banging out the story, getting some perspective. I'm going to have it here on Wednesday on Queer News Tonight. All the beautiful, big, beautiful details with my big hands. So please turn back in on Wednesday. It's going to be a really good story. And you can check out all my stories and all these events at Greater Wilton Manors on YouTube and Facebook.
That's right. And thank you so much for being back at the table, bestie, at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome anchor Will Haas. Grrr. He's my favorite bear ever. Will is a bi-coastal real estate professional and is the past president of the South Florida's most popular gay social club. You know it, the Bears of South Florida. He also serves as a realtor in his spare time with Exit Realty of Naples. We love Naples. And on the advisory board of Freedom Waters. Welcome back to the show, Will. So much going on right now with Naples Pride coming up. You guys have fought. You guys have been in such a long battle, and you're coming up victorious. Tell me what's going on.
We're still fighting that battle, but April 18th, we're actually moving our Pride up from June to April 18th.
Smart.
From 11 to 4 at Cambria Park, right downtown Naples. Tickets are only $10 to come in, so you got to come share the event with us. There's always food, drink, entertainment. Cape Coral had their Pride 2 weeks ago. You know, Miss Bouvier was in Naples last Thursday at the district. So, you know, we're rocking and rolling over there, on the West Coast.
You really are. And Miss Bouvier loves you guys. You know,
Oh, yeah.
You know that she does. She just had an event, I think it was Friday at Arts United, was it, John? It might have been Thursday or Friday, but
yeah.
But you know, she's just like I look at her like every single time she's on a stage, she mentions you no matter what, you know, and like that's a beautiful.
It's special,
thing.
yeah.
It is special. How do you feel about moving it up to April?
I think it'll be better because I get a booth there and I'm sweating my ass off in the summertime. I'm a bears sweat, you know.
Well, we'll all definitely see you at Naples Pride, and thank you so much for being back at the table at Queer News Tonight.
And of course, let's welcome tonight's lead anchor, FayWhat. She is a legendary events host, television and radio personality, and the host of Hotspots Happening Out's The FayWhat Show. Faye, Florida AIDS Walk and Music Festival hits Fort Lauderdale Beach on March 21st. Tell us what's happening out.
Yes, so the Florida AIDS Walk and Music Festival returns on Saturday, March 21st, bringing thousands together at Fort Lauderdale Beach for a powerful day of community, activism, and celebration. Participants can walk, run, or dance to support programs that provide critical HIV/AIDS services across South Florida. The event will feature performances by award-winning artists and New Jersey girl and fellow lesbian and fellow hottie and brown goddess, Queen Latifah, and rising alt-pop performer, Rhetoric. I'm so sorry if I said your name wrong, by the way, because you're super cute. Following the walk and concert, the celebration continues with an official after party hosted by Flockfest at the Easton Rooftop Pool, offering free entry for the first 300 guests, okay? With AIDS Walk wristbands, you get in for free. How cool is that? Hotspots Happening Out is a proud beneficiary of 2026 Florida AIDS Walk. To register with our team, with the FayWhat team, visit www.faw.lgbt. There it is. All right, said it all. I love Florida AIDS Walk. I was talking with John about this before. It's one of the few times a year I wake up that early.
Yeah, same here.
You know, and for my butt to get all the way to Fort Lauderdale Beach by 9 in the morning is a lot, okay? But the second I see community, like I wake up. Right? Because you see everyone there, every organization you have ever collaborated with, or any association you want to, you know, is there. Someone that you look up to, someone that you don't, you know, like everybody is there. Everyone is there in full force, and they're all in their and walking with such pride for a cause, you know. And then at the end of it, we all get to party with Queen Latifah. I mean, and they have brought some incredible people in the past years. You know, Todrick Hall was there, Little Kim was there, you know, Flo Rida was there 5 times, you know, and this time we have the incredible Queen Latifah, who is like, I grew up on her music, UNITY. Like, if you see me Saturday, I'm just gonna be like in my own world, like just so excited, trying to manifest getting backstage. I'm manifesting getting backstage. AHF, look out for me. Either give me a band or I'm making myself known backstage to find Queen Latifah, you know? All of you kids have been to AIDS Walk or are participating this time. Tell me your experiences a little bit of.
I think it's fun. It's a great cause. People are getting together, and it's, you know, you're just, like you said, it's a big community. It's like a, you know, kind of like a big parade kind of, where people are just celebrating, kind of walking, and it's a great cause.
Yeah, and it's always fun. The music, like you said, is always great. I love me some Queen Latifah. You know, ladies first, girls, ladies first. And, you know, my job gets me a little bit more access and gives me a little bit more perspective to see how all the community works together and fits together into one coherent message. So I just love it. Get up early, get down. I mean, you're done by 1, so you can go and take a nap and then get ready for evening events that night.
You know, and something that I was talking to Jamal Starks, a friend of mine, right? He was telling me, listen, it's also a celebration, right? We got through, you know, we're fighting this ADAP shit, you know, but getting little victories, you know. He's my spiritualist also. And so he's like, he's like, Faye, you have to enjoy the victories. You're constantly moving on to the next thing you have to fight for. Right? And we never stop and go, okay, you know, AHF helped and we got this done, you know?
Right.
So Saturday is also kind of a celebration.
It is. Absolutely.
You know? Manëësh, how does this wash over you?
So for me, being that we are like happening out or Hotspots, we are also beneficiaries. Transinclusive Group is also beneficiaries for the Florida AIDS Walk. And so just looking at, I'm kind of new, but not really new to TIG, but just kind of looking at being immersed in all of the work that TIG does. When you think about the support that the Florida AIDS Walk gives to TIG. It helps us with our Choices program, which is trans women centered housing that's trauma informed, right? It helps us with the Echoes of Peace retreat that I was just telling you all about. It helps us with, of course, centering those trans masculine voices and getting that visibility out. We also participate in the Florida AIDS Walk. So we're bringing trans masculine folks into the conversation about HIV and AIDS, which we are often left out and just completely forgot about when the conversation comes of topic. It also supports our TDOV events, right? The one that's coming up on the 31st, right? So
March 31st, Pride Center, don't be left out.
Make sure we and in our Transinclusive Emergency Crisis Fund, which helps with fighting those social determinants of health. Like we help with your utilities if we're able to. We're if you need a ride. So the Florida AIDS Walk directly supports TIG in the biggest way.
Wow. And listen, folks, nobody works harder than TIG. You have to understand that, like, Tatiana, Adriana, Chris, they get phone calls or they get messengers on Facebook from folks that need help.
Right.
Right. And it's and it might be like, I need to just get to a doctor's appointment. No problem, girl. We'll Uber you. Something so simple to us might not be simple to the person going through that right now. You know what I mean? Like maybe they just need to go pick up their meds and they have no way to get it. Little things to huge things, to a utility or something that just got turned off and the person might have a child. They are there for it. When they're going through all this crazy stuff of their own, they're still answering these phone calls and still answering these emails and these messengers from folks that just don't even expect somebody to return the message, and they do.
Right. And being that I am now over the media and marketing and promotional space for TIG, so all of the Florida AIDS Walk, we've been very intentional about, visibility with that. So I am receiving those messages that you're talking about as it pertains to like housing and things like that, which AHF is also has the Healthy Housing Foundation. So we've been able to use that service to get trans masculine folks housing, secure and stable housing. So again, this is one of I'm super grateful for this opportunity. Yeah.
So listen, go on over and if you can't walk with us, go on over to the Florida AIDS Walk website and donate, because like Manëësh just said, this helps so many organizations. This is the lifeline to many organizations to be able to do the work that they do for this coming year. And Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at the Florida AIDS Walk and Music Festival on March 21st. I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up the USA view. Rick Grenell to step down from Kennedy Center after politicized tenure and arts community backlash. Rick Grenell, a close ally of Donald Trump, is stepping down today as president of the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts following a controversial tenure that drew criticism from artists and LGBTQ advocates. According to reports, Rick Grenell will transition out of the role but remain involved as an unpaid consultant. He is expected to be succeeded by Matt Floca, the center's vice president of facilities operation. The leadership change is expected to be announced during a Kennedy Center board meeting at the White House that Trump is slated to attend. Grenell took control of the institution in February 2025 after Trump reshaped its leadership, calling the overhaul part of a coming of golden age for American art and culture. The move sparked backlash across the arts community. Lin-Manuel Miranda canceled the planned staging of Hamilton, and Issa Rae scrapped a sold-out appearance. A Pride concert featuring the Gay Men's Chorus of Washington, D.C. and the National Symphony Orchestra was also canceled, and some World Pride 2025 events moved elsewhere. Tensions grew further when members of the Log Cabin Republicans disrupted a performance by guitarist Yasmin Williams. The transition comes as the center prepares for a major renovation. Trump has announced the venue will close in July for 2 years for construction, revitalization, and complete rebuilding, promising a new and spectacular entertainment complex. Congress has approved roughly $257 million for the project. Wow. Well, listen, when artists start canceling faster than a streaming service after one bad season, you know something's wrong, okay? When Rick Grenell took over John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts, the community clapped back hard, and unfortunately, people started pulling shows like Pride concerts and stuff like that, but the Kennedy Center was hosting about 2,000 performances a year. But lately, the biggest production there has been the political drama that's going on, you know? Art thrives on creativity. It really does. But what they've been putting out the last year since this new change is sad. Like the Kennedy Center Honors was just something that I always loved to watch. Their galas were amazing. And it's just now I'm kind of like, is John F. Kennedy like rolling over in his grave right now going, because you know they're going to take his name off it too.
Yeah.
You know, what do you think, Edward?
Well, they've added his name to that as well. So, you know, you might as well just destroy the whole building at this point. I mean, yeah, he's just somebody that obviously is out of touch with arts and culture, because arts and culture reflect what our community and what our environment is today. And obviously we have so much in the spectrum to celebrate with that. And obviously, you know, a space like the Kennedy Center, which is all inclusive and shows all different types, obviously disturbed him.
Yeah.
And you know, it's not surprising to see somebody under his administration only really settling into their role for about a year and then exits, you know, whether by themselves or, you know, that they get rid of them. So,
Outed, yeah.
I mean, this is just typical of what we see in this organ. So, you know, unfortunately, you know, they're going to probably do some damage to this building with the money that they're going to have. And, you know, it's going to be like, you know, left to other people in the future to clean it up, unfortunately.
And he's probably putting a casino in there too.
Oh
you
my
know, another
God,
Trump casino, most likely.
But listen, you can't.
Okay, I'm not against that.
I am. Look, you can't have art and culture without LGBTQ plus.
Correct.
Period.
Right. And well, but to Edward's point, you said he's putting, you know, Rick Grenell is out of touch with arts and culture. Well, that's the point of this administration, to appoint people who have no qualifications to do what they're doing and let them just sort of naturally muck it up. I mean, we've got Linda McMahon, the high priestess of one of the wrestling things, in charge of education. Yeah. In charge of education. But Rick, hey girl, at least you outlasted dog killer Kristi Noem. So you got that. Put that on your resume.
But he got replaced by a janitor, the head janitor, right?
Vice President of Facilities Operations.
Yeah, get it right. Get it right.
Head janitor.
He's got all the keys.
But I'm so ashamed to admit I'd hit it.
Oh. I'm Edward Otto Zielke, and let's queer up gay culture. Oscars and LGBTQ plus representation, historic wins, persistent gaps, and the ongoing fight for visibility. The 98th Academy Awards took place yesterday, and sadly, it looked way more straight. However, this has not always been the case. The history of LGBTQ plus representation at the Academy Awards has been marked by breakthrough moments. A major turning point came in 2005 when Brokeback Mountain earned 3 Oscars from 8 nominations, bringing queer storytelling into Hollywood mainstream. More than a decade later, Moonlight made history in 2017 as the first LGBTQ+ film and the first with an all-black main cast to win Best Picture. Representation milestones continued. In 2024, Spanish actor Carla Sofia Gascon became the first transgender performer nominated for Best Actress for Emilia Perez. Despite such moments, LGBTQ+ creators and actors remain underrepresented at the Oscars. Historically, straight actors have often won awards for portraying queer characters, while openly LGBTQ+ performers receive fewer nominations. In 2024, Colman Domingo became the only second openly gay man nominated for Best Actor, following Ian McKellen. Meanwhile, Jodie Foster remains the only queer woman to win Best Actress. Jeremy Blacklow of GLAAD told Vanity Fair, quote, LGBTQ+ actors have long faced blatant employment discrimination and have felt forced to hide their sexual orientation and or gender identity if they hope to work at all, end quote. As the industry looks ahead to future ceremonies, advocates continue pushing for broader and more authentic LGBTQ+ representation in Hollywood. Will 2027 be any better? Only time will tell. Well, for decades, we've had, queer artists and stories. They've always helped shape our cinema. It's been, I think, within the last 25, 30 years that I've just been starting to see more of that. And, and I remember people like, I remember stories like Will and Grace, let's just say, where we had, the first gay TV show where we're seeing, gay characters and stuff. And yet we did have an actor, portraying the main character who was straight playing it. So, and then we had a secondary character who was really gay playing a gay. So it took so long just to get that component on TV, and now we're here 2 decades later and we're still trying to fight for it.
Yep.
And this year we were, once again, not overlooked as a community.
Yeah. Listen, yesterday were the Oscars, and it's usually very queer centric, and I like Edward said, there were so many spots and so many spaces where I was just like, ooh, like something's missing here, But let's, I want to say that Autumn Durad Arkapaw, she made history as the first woman to win an Oscar for Best Cinematography for Sinners. Okay, that's huge. Yeah. How is it that she's the first woman? Okay, like this is, you know what I mean? Like if women are still striving to not be the second class, like it boggles my mind how much work we have to do. You know what I mean? So let's talk some Hollywood math. The Academy Awards loves a queer story, as long as a straight actor's playing it, right? Since the first ceremony in 1929, only a handful of openly out LGBTQ performers have won major acting Oscars. Yes, we had the little breakthroughs like Moonlight, right? But that was years ago. And Brokeback Mountain was even decades ago. Poor Jodie Foster is still carrying that weight of being, you know what I mean? How long is she carrying that weight? You know what I mean? And so at the end of the day, they're still struggling to cast us in their stuff. You know what I mean? And it was reflected yesterday.
Well, I have to say, and I agree, we need to have more representation, and it's great. I don't really care for this story. It's very anecdotal. It seems very based on feels, because it leaves out 3 queer wins in just what we would all consider recent history. Ariana DeBose won for Best Supporting Actress.
That was not this year, though.
No. But I'm talking like it was like in 2021 or 2022. Within the last 5 years. Billie Eilish has won back-to-back Oscars. I think like the last 2 or 2 of the last 3.
Her and her brother, the song. You're right.
Yeah. So there is a lot. I don't want to really slam the Academy, because I do believe they're trying. I know several members of the Academy, and there is a lot of pro LGBTQ representation that gets talked about, and the one of my friends is very new to the Academy, another is a long time member, and the longtime member says that just the openness and the push towards inclusiveness has not gone away. It is continuing to grow, even if we don't really see it on Extra or Access Hollywood.
But I don't understand the stigma. Why can't a gay man play a gay actor play a gay man in a movie? What's the big stigma with all that? Mm-hmm. I mean, they did that years ago when they had Indians in the cowboy and Indian movies, and the Asian, characters were all played by white men, or just, I don't know what the stigmas are. It's kind of crazy. And I mean, gay people are talented. We're flamboyant. We're fun.
I mean, I'm sorry, please, John.
I was going to say, but I am still fine with Patrick Swayze playing a big old drag queen like Tu Wong Fu. So I'm just saying.
Me too.
If you're hot enough, street people,
oh my goodness,
I'm here for it.
Listen, and if you didn't watch the Academy Awards, go watch snippets, okay? Michael B. Jordan's acceptance speech was just beyond. I could not stop crying, okay? Because I was just so happy for him. I can tell at the Golden Globes, he talked about his mom and about not having enough money to cross the Holland Tunnel, and I've been there. That's Jersey to New York for you people that don't know. And that his mom would find her little pennies and get them across that bridge so he can go to a casting in New York. I mean, and now he got the highest coveted, that trophy that there is, the Oscars. You know what I mean? As a black man, he's representing all of us. That's how I took it. I mean, Manëësh, anything to say?
I like you said, I do think that the representation is still struggling, but just like you said, John, that they are at least being intentional about trying to include folks. I have also been able to see more trans identifying folks inside of a few films on like Netflix and things of that nature.
Good point.
So they are taking those necessary steps, but it is still kind of struggling in that space of support.
100%.
I'm Manëësh Chatman, and let's queer up trans rights. California professor condemns anti-trans rhetoric in a heated Title IX debate, says, "Shame on you." A heated debate over transgender athletes in Title IX erupted during a recent meeting of the California State University Board of Trustees. The discussion comes as the California State University system and San Jose State University are suing the federal government after the U.S. Department of Education accused San Jose State of violating Title IX by allowing a transgender volleyball player to compete in women's games between 2022 and 2024. Education Secretary Linda McMahon reportedly warned the universities they could face funding cuts and a referral to the Department of Justice if they did not comply. During the meeting, Assistant Sociology Professor Jamie O'Quinn sharply criticized the board.
I'm Jamie O'Quinn. I'm an assistant professor of sociology at Cal State San Bernardino, and I'm frustrated that I'm going to have to use my time today to talk about transphobia instead of the cuts that are impacting our students and our faculty every day, as was prepared. So first, it seems like there's a bit of a misunderstanding that a lot of the folks calling in have about the difference between sex and gender. Spoiler alert, both are socially constructed. Sex is a classification system used to reproduce social inequalities based on perceived biological characteristics. Male and female are binaries on a spectrum in which about 1 in every 1,500 babies born in the United States does not fall on. And the idea that I have to get up here and say that trans women are women, and that's what I have to use my time to do, is absurd. Shame on you. Shame on all of you. And shame on you for using lesbian politics as a front for your transphobia, because this lesbian has had plenty of girlfriends with penises.
So just a comment.
You know, for me, I actually commend her for her bravery in standing up, because that is what you call an ally, right? We see a lot of times our allies tend to stand behind us. She actually stood in front of us. And not only did she come from a space of breaking it down to where literally the constructs of sex and gender have been created to create separation amongst us, to show that, to I guess, create the illusion that there is no oneness amongst everybody in the community. So I definitely commend her for standing up, especially in a time where they're willing to pull away people's funding just for helping people in healthcare. You know, so her being a professor and standing up, I truly appreciate that. And to also draw the attention away from the fact that it's not just trans people who are seeking the space of inclusion, but also our allies, our cisgendered allies, who are also in that space of wanting to create inclusion, and to, I guess, draw focused and calling out those feminist groups, as well as those people who identify as lesbian. Because trans women are women and they identify as women. So why are feminist groups, people who, you know, fight for women's rights, and people who identify as lesbian intentionally trying to drive their agenda to oppose trans inclusion? Yeah.
You know, I mean, I can tell you from my seat as a lesbian, right? I don't really interact with too many lesbian groups because of that reason, right? I think that women are women, trans women are women, period, end of story. Like, there is no explanation after that, you know? But this is their way, or society's way, of separating us. Right. Okay. The reality is that everybody has LGBTQ plus kids, parents, relatives, whatever it is. We're everywhere. We're like roaches. Okay. But they want us to separate within our own acronym. You know, so they tell the women, you know, they're coming for your whatever, fill in the blank, okay? And since we're constantly afraid of everybody's going to take what I have, people believe that. And then they make their own clique, and then they believe these ridiculous things that they see on social media, etc. And that's how they divide folks. I mean, it's crazy how that could happen. Bless you, John.
Thank you.
Bless you. So honestly, this lady, I'm kind of in love with her. Sorry, Teresa. Sorry, Teresa. Even with the crazy hair, she got super hot the more she talked. You know what I mean? I was like, yes, because she broke it down and she felt the need to, okay? Like, women are not allowed to speak in many circles. And she was like, I'm going to use this time. And she even said it, I can't believe I have to use this time for this. So I'm going to have to school you. And this is what I'm going to do. And that's what she did. I mean, less than 1% of the college is probably trans. And they're going after them. Like, it infuriates me. Like, at whatever table I'm at, I'm like, where's the trans person? Okay? I mean, because if I'm representing black, brown, and lesbian, I can't represent it all. And people like to be a scapegoat that way and go, no, but we got Faye. No, you did it.
And I also think a lot of people get mixed up or taken aback in semantics these days, because we forget, again, just as she said, all of this stuff is made up, right? And so if we're sitting here and we're saying, oh, we're man, we're woman, we're cis, we're this, someone told us that. We all agreed to it. Or we chose not to agree to it. But the fact of the matter is, when we came out, we are assigned a sex, right? And then we're then able, because gender throughout history was not dependent upon your sexual reproductive parts. It was dependent upon your job, sometimes the way you dress, cultural things. Trans people held some of the most sacred roles throughout history. So trans people are not new, right? But again, the terminology, we didn't call ourselves trans. The scientists and the people that, we're doing all the fighting against right now, they called us trans. We didn't call cis people. Again, the same people called us, cis people. And so when we get caught up in those semantics, when we get caught up in all of those things, we lose sight that a system has been intentionally created for certain people to thrive. And you and I, all of us sitting at this table, we're not a part of that 100 people, right? Yeah. We're part of those 100 families. Yeah. And so we're all in the same battle, as we've already iterated, the oneness that has to come within our community right now. Yeah. Right now.
Like yesterday, he's saying, okay. They're saying like yesterday. Let's start like yesterday, getting united in some way, okay? I'm just saying, instead of targeting students, there'd be so many other things that they could work on. You know what I mean? Like educating our students. Like, like our American students are getting dumber and dumber by the day. I mean, that's what you should be really focusing on there.
I'm John Hayden, and let's queer up lesbian and queer women. From radio queen to television host to community icon, Hotspots vets FayWhat. If you've seen the cover of this week's Hotspots magazine, you've seen our very own FayWhat smiling back at you. If it seems like she's everywhere, well, that's because it is. She is in this issue and goes where no woman has gone before. And that is worth a party. Yes. Yeah. There she is, FayWhat, at the party, celebrating her image on the cover of Hotspots magazine. Dozens pack the Arts United Gallery on Dixie Highway in Wilton Manors. The woman of the hour walking into a room filled with fans, friends, and loved ones, all of whom wanted a hug and a smile. This isn't just any cover. Despite being 41 years old, Hotspots has never featured a solo female local activist on the cover.
Standing here tonight as the first woman on the cover of Hotspots magazine is honestly a little surreal for me. This magazine has been part of our community for over 40 years, and I've been reading it forever when I was a little mini dyke. Now, a lot of people have been saying to me the last couple of days, Faye, you broke the glass ceiling, and that's a beautiful thing to hear. But none of us break these ceilings alone. We all have each other to lift each other up. We have people who believe in us and the community that keeps showing up like you all do. Thank you for showing up for me. I will show up for you again and again and again.
Faye is inspiring on so many levels. She is a 5-year breast cancer survivor, 11 years sober, an animal activist, hosts many, many community events, and is the lead anchor on the world's gayest news show.
We're the anchors of Queer News Tonight, and this evening we discuss the queer headlines.
The cover promotes Hotspot's 2026 AIDS Walk team. But on this night, all eyes and all love is focused on FayWhat.
I just want to toast Faye, the beautiful human being that she is, the light she brings into every space. She absolutely deserves this, and who better to represent the women in our community than our own iconic beauty, who I adore with my entire heart. I love you. Cheers to Faye.
Well, if you see Faye out and about and you ask nicely, she may sign your copy of Hotspots. If you're a sexy hot lady, she'll definitely sign it. Faye, that was such a wonderful night. Thank you for inviting me, letting me be a part of it. You know, I love you more than my luggage.
Oh, baby, I love you. Honestly, I'm still gagged. I mean, like, you know, it's Hotspots, right? Like, I remember being a kid and like, okay, where's the Hotspots magazine? Is it by the condoms? Is it by the bathroom? Where is it? I gotta go get it, right? And you know, and I'm a girl, right? And I couldn't wait to see what was in Hotspots. And then, you know, full circle, a couple of years ago, I started working for Happening Out, who then unites with Hotspots to become this incredible media company. And it's like, you know, 41 years they've been doing this magazine and they never put a woman on the cover. Never, you know, and it's like, wow, you know, that washes over me in such it gives me a warm hug. It also tells me like, about time, you know, like all in the same breath, right? Dennis Dean is incredible. I adore him. He's a wonderful photographer. I didn't know how he would want to capture me for this for this cover, and he did an exceptional job. You know, I'm in a prom dress on the beach. That's what I usually do, right? You know, thank you so much to Scott Holland for the vision. It would have never happened without him. Jameer Baptiste, he put it all together. He is a king. I adore him. I love him. He calms me down when I'm going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. He knows exactly what to say. I don't know how, but he knows. Jeff Sterling, Darren Lowley, like all these incredible people that that still keep this going. You know, there are very few publications that have been around for 41 years, and Hotspots is still doing it and not going anywhere. So I'm gagged.
Well, who better than be the first woman on, you know, the magazine cover than you? You deserve it. You're the voice of our community, and you're fabulous.
Aw, thank you.
And it's so well deserved. You know, yes. I think about knowing you personally for the last few years, Steph, and we have so much in common. You know, we're both from New Jersey. We're both in recovery. We both are cancer survivors. Yep. We embody a lot of what we've gone through in our own past experience, and we've elevated that and brought it to a level where we can, you know, amplify our voices in a very positive way. And you've just been that inspiration for so many people. And who better to break the glass ceiling at Hotspots than you? Because you are the leader of the L word, let's just and it's so important to be recognized for that. And John, that was such a wonderful video. I think I recognized a few people on there, including myself. That's great. But even the video didn't even capture just the camaraderie and all of the celebration that was going on for you. So it was really, really well deserved.
It was wonderful to go and look around and see all these beautiful people. And there was a ton of people that couldn't make it, that had their own things going on that day. And I totally understand, you know, but it was a room full of love, right? And it was a room like, you know, I have the imposter syndrome. I'm constantly thinking that I'm not good enough to sit at a table, that I'm not good enough to lead Queer News Tonight. I'm constantly feeling that way. And, you forget because you're fighting. Right? You're fighting this battle constantly and you get a little victory, but it's like on to the next thing, right? We're so busy with that we don't celebrate these little victories. And this is huge. Like, this is ginormous, way bigger than I'm giving it credit for. I hope that the next person in the future on the cover is a trans person, right? I hope that the next person is something else that we haven't had on the cover of Hotspots, because that is what inclusivity looks like. And that's what Hotspots Happening Out is doing right now. So I so appreciate that. And I couldn't say more because I'm gonna cry and I need to finish the show.
I'm William Haas, and let's queer up the USA View. Former DOGE staffers say ChatGPT was used to flag and cancel referencing LGBT topics. A congressional lawsuit has revealed that staffers at the now defunct Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, used artificial intelligence to review and cancel federal grants referencing queer topics. According to testimony reported by the New York Times, former DOGE officials Justin Fox and Nathan Kavanaugh said they used the AI tool ChatGPT by reviewing grants as part of an aggressive effort to reduce federal spending. DOGE was created after President Trump returned to the White House in January 2025 and was led by billionaire entrepreneur Elon Musk. The department was also responsible for shuttering the United States Agency for International Development, widely known as USAID, the world's largest provider of food assistance. The testimony became public through a lawsuit filed by the Modern Language Association, the American Council of Learned Societies, and the American Historical Association, which argued the government unlawfully terminated grants tied to research on race, gender, and LGBTQ+ communities. Fox told investigators he used a prompt asking ChatGPT, quote, "Does the following relate to DEI? Respond factually in less than 120 characters. Begin with yes or no," end quote. Projects were sometimes flagged simply because LGBTQ-related terms appeared. When asked why one military project was targeted, Kavanaugh replied, "Because it explicitly said LGBTQ." The lawsuit says more than 1,400 grants totaling over $100 million were canceled. You know, $100 million isn't a lot compared to their whole budget, and they're canceling for grants for people who actually need these grants. Yeah. And for an agency that actually needs food, gives food out to the whole world. I mean, it's a shame. I mean, we're spending more than that, a day in the war. So you're saving $1 million being penny wise and dollar foolish. You're over there fighting Iran, spending millions and millions of dollars. And this money could be helping people at home.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see that we're using now ChatGPT to flag out certain, entities, and just making sure that rather than looking at the grant and the application itself for its value, we're targeting specific names. It was a few weeks ago that the Gay Men's Chorus of South Florida was tagged in the Florida State DOJ department as well as, being in that too. So yeah, they're it's trickling down to the state levels, and especially here in Florida, and it's very disturbing. But again, without LGBTQ plus arts, there would be no arts in general. So that's what it's all about. It's just they just do not like anything representing DEI, and that just scares people to death.
What's also really sad too, this is technology. Technology is usually to better the human race, and now we're using it against the human race, and that's what this technology really is never for.
But the craziest thing is that ChatGPT isn't always correct either.
No,
you know what I mean? Like, it's not perfect, right? And people are using for something like this that it's so important. Like, I know certain people that work at certain nonprofits that are cleaning up their website, right, in a certain way because they're afraid to be flagged.
Right.
That breaks my heart. These are organizations, I mean, they have to do what they have to do. So I respect them for having to do that. But I can't, but it's incredible that they have to do that. These are organizations that have always been LGBTQ centric. That they help our community. And now they have to write it more broad to not get flagged.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's a very difficult struggle to for an organization to come to that realization. Ours has not.
You're called the Gay Men's Chorus, honey. You kind of can't.
We can't. but in our mission statement, we say that we represent all LGBTQ plus people. So this is the fundamental core of who we are.
Yeah.
So this is something that we're definitely keeping a strong eye out for all of this.
And in the same space, we're Transinclusive group. They're intentionally not funding trans organizations in that space. So it's real disheartening just to see that you can put in my grant into ChatGPT and reply with a yes or no. You don't even have to give a reason.
Yeah.
But if it says LGBTQ or trans, that you're going to reject it. I was on a call. One second. But I was on a call with Equality Florida, where they were talking about the different laws and things like that. So to your point about people are literally trying to change their name, they're like, well, what if we put LGBTQ plus behind our names? Will that make a difference? And it's sadly it won't.
Yeah.
It won't. So
but let's not get mad at ChatGPT, because at the end of the day, a human has to go, no.
Right.
Yes, but if the human is actually working in there and they're relying on ChatGPT to make the decisions, then that's really kind of quite concerning.
And a human has to go in there and say, no. For now, we've all seen Terminator. We know how.
What is it? Was it the one with Will Smith? I couldn't finish watching it because the dog died.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. They all kind of come together.
iRobot. I think it was
Sorry,
iRobot.
iRobot, yes.
iRobot. Oh,
Yeah.
I can't watch that again. Anyway, LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up entertainment. Lil Nas X sends emotional message to fans as lawyer seeks diversion in felony battery case. In an emotional moment outside the court, Lil Nas X shared a heartfelt message with fans while facing an ongoing legal battle. The Old Town Road singer, whose real name is Montero Lamar Hill, faces 3 felony counts of battery against a police officer and 1 count of resisting arrest after he was found wandering near traffic in his underwear. He appeared in court to request a short delay to move his felony police battery case into a diversion program. If approved, the program could lead to the dismissal of charges after treatment or rehabilitation. Speaking briefly to reporters, the rapper said, quote, "All I wanted to say is to my fans, I really love and I miss you. And I appreciate your support so much. And I can't wait to be back hugging you guys. You guys have a good day," end quote. His next court appearance is scheduled for April 6th. Now, my comment might not be something that everybody would like to hear, but here it is, okay? Lil Nas X is going through all this shit because he's black, okay? If he would have been white, that shit would have been dismissed a long time ago. The fact that he was in his underwear in WeHo, isn't that what we do? I don't understand how that's wrong, right? I mean, we all saw the videos, okay? Like, I mean, give him a little rehab, send him on his way, and that's it. There's no reason why he's still going through this. This is ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. It's making a point out of him for no reason.
I suspect that the delay is because his legal team is working with the prosecutor's office at this point. Felons rarely get diversion. So I expect this case will be dismissed, refiled as a misdemeanor, which will open up a much wider plan of non-incarceration sentences. So I would look for that to happen. I don't know the details. I don't know if he was in an altered state.
He was.
Okay. I'm just saying I'm not going to
I mean, he wasn't driving.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. So whenever you hit an officer, you're really upping your exposure.
He was resisting. He didn't want to go into the cuffs, and that's what and then the guy took it as an assault. You know what I mean? The reality is that when you get arrested, you probably won't know this, okay? I'll school you. When you get arrested, they blow all these charges on you just to keep you in jail, okay? Once they go through them, most of them are dropped, okay? There's usually like 10 of them, and then you're down to whatever it is, or it gets knocked down to a misdemeanor like yourself, like you said, you know? But because it's Lil Nas X, they're making it up. They're making him a point. There was no reason for that to be a felony from the beginning. No. That's it, you know? Anybody else? Did I mess up the 1 minute news? Okay, all right.
One-ish.
Sorry, I got passionate about Lil Nas X. I love him, and he loves his fans. And unfortunately, he's been super quiet throughout this because they're telling him not to talk to anybody, which is understandable.
Yeah.
You know, under what's going on, you know? But he's missed.
He is.
That's all.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up the USA view. New York City Mayor Mandami appoints trans woman Taylor Brown to lead the first office of LGBTQIA+ affairs. New York City Mayor Zoran Mandami is launching the city's first ever mayor's office of LGBTQIA+ affairs and appointing attorney Taylor Brown as its inaugural director. Brown will become the first transgender person in history to lead a New York City office or agency. Mamdani said in a statement, quote, "New York City is proud of its LGBTQIA+ community and will refuse to deny health care, safety, or dignity to any of on the basis of their identity." With Taylor Brown as director of the new Office of LGBTQIA+ Affairs, the city's queer community will not only be celebrated, but protected at every turn. Well, this is just another wonderful, great representation of how, you know, when you see queer people in power and then rising them up, you know, what possibilities that we could possibly have in this world, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, a politician doing what they said they were going to do. I'm blown away.
Yeah, he didn't come in and take our checks and take our votes and then forget about us. He is there delivering for us at every single turn. So, you know, I love it. And the best part about this is somewhere, a Republican's head is exploding. I just love that.
But, you know, he's uplifting everybody in the city, not just certain people or select people. He's trying to uplift everybody and treat everybody as equal. And that's all anybody could really ask.
Look, he's got a bunch of women as part of his team. He's got, gay folks. He's got straight folks. He's got all kinds, all kinds of colors and sizes and everything. He's got United Colors of Benetton as his cabinet, and I'm living for it. I mean, I swear to you, I feel awful in saying this because I really think he's a very personable and likable guy. I didn't believe him when he said he was going to do this office of LGBTQ plus affairs. I didn't. I thought it'd be something he would do maybe, or forget about it, or just whatever. I mean, he just got appointed. He just got sworn in the other day, and this is now March, and he's doing this. This is beautiful, and and appointing our people. Saying I'm going to be inclusive and doing it. That is a beautiful thing.
Well, I hope he's a good role model for all people coming forward that want to get in politics and say it's okay to include everybody. You're not going to be hurt. You're going to win office. And it's going to help everybody.
It's true.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up drag culture. Drag Race stars Plain Jane and Q join Project Runway Season 22. Two queens from RuPaul's Drag Race are heading to Project Runway for its upcoming season. According to Entertainment Weekly, Plain Jane will appear on Season 22. However, the role is yet to be announced. Fellow Season 16 contestant Q will also compete as one of the designers after receiving praise for her fashion on the Drag Race runway. The two performers previously gained attention from fans for their on-screen friendship during the season. Season 2 is expected to premiere later this year on Freeform, Disney Plus, and Hulu. If I'm being transparent, things have been so busy this year that I haven't even been able to catch the show. I know.
I'm sorry, Steve, can you get my pearls? I need something to clutch.
Y'all fill me in.
Well, Plain Jane was not on, she was not on the recent RuPaul's Drag Race. She was on a few before, right? And she is kind of like South Florida royalty because I think that Athena Dion is her mom or something, all right? But Athena got a lot of kids. Lots of kids! And now that she's famous, they're popping up everywhere, right? And so now Plain Jane was on RuPaul's Drag Race and had incredible creativity in her outfits and everything that she made herself, right? Now they're gonna go and strut their stuff and do it at Project Runway, where they'll be the designer designing all the pieces for models to strut their stuff in, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so last season or 2 seasons ago, correct me if I'm wrong, John, Utica was the first drag race alumni that went over to Project Runway and almost freaking won, okay? Because their looks were just ridiculous. So now I guess since that went so well that time, they're going into the pot of RuPaul's Drag Race because at this point there's 300,000 girls that have been on RuPaul's Drag Race. So now they're going into that pot to get their contestants and their
But
players.
they're so smart because there's such talented drag queens on the Drag Race show where, you're seeing a lot of designers, just doing such creative work. Q is the other one that's also going to be on the show too. She does such a crafty way of like putting things together and stuff. And so I'm really excited to see, on Project Runway, how it's going to, translate onto that type of a main stage, and how she's designing for other people.
Well, because there's some looks on Project Runway that can't be outlandish and crazy like that. There's some that are avant-garde, but there's some like, okay, the teacher that needs to go to her meeting, you know what I mean? And how you're able to do both. It's not an easy thing.
No.
Like when Athena was getting on RuPaul's Drag Race, I was like, girl, you better learn how to sew. And she got somebody to give her 22 classes and it helped a lot, baby girl.
Not far.
John. Oh, I'm so sorry. Manëësh, close this out.
Well, now that y'all have, filled me in, I actually love fashion. I love all things
you'll
fashion.
love it
so
then.
I'm a little upset that I haven't been tapping in, but I got 22 seasons that I got to catch up.
Oh yeah, you can catch up on those and you can put them on the in the background while you're working or whatever, and just every once in a while look over and be like, that's a good look, that ain't working, and continue your work.
See if I can mimic some of them. Thank y'all so much for filling me in.
LGBTQ plus 1 minute news. Let's queer up gay culture. Leaked audio claims Rebel Wilson's PR team planned a smear campaign against Amanda Ghost. The Hollywood Reporter says Rebel Wilson hired a top crisis PR team to frame the Debs producer, Amanda Ghost, as a sex trafficker. In the recording, digital fixer Jed Wallace discusses creating anonymous websites accusing Ghost of sex trafficking, saying, quote, "We can't just do like, oh, she's a bitch, she sucks. It's like, it's got to be really, really heavy and connected to something that heavy," end quote. The campaign follows Wilson's misconduct claims tied to the Deb, which then led Ghost star Charlotte McInnes and others to file a defamation lawsuit. Rebel's team says she hasn't worked with Wallace's team in a while, and all ties are severed. Now, I will just say there is a lot to this story. The Hollywood Reporter is doing excellent reporting on it. There's so many more nuances and some backstory. I encourage everyone to read the Hollywood Reporter online, THR, and learn more, because what we're saying here is really just scratching the surface of what is it's already an ugly story.
But that's just huge. You don't say that somebody's sex trafficking, right? You go, oh, somebody's stealing some shit, right? But I mean, like, you went up there and again, we don't know all the nuts and bolts, and right. I'm telling you, like John said, please look it up, because just from the story here, I'm saying to myself, Rebel Wilson got skinny, that went crazy. Okay? And it's like, what the hell? You don't go after, they deserve to do a defamation suit against her if they've got this proof of her saying these things or setting these things up or whatever. But I mean, that's a big pill to swallow. You know what I mean? Just very big.
It's disturbing, this is the culture that we're in right now. You're seeing a lot of people being called out for, like sex trafficking and what else, like Epstein files and stuff. So yeah, I mean, like, I'm not surprised, but yeah, this is a very, very complicated story. I think that, once things become more to light, hopefully we'll be able to put more of these pieces together.
LGBTQ, 1 Minute News, Let's Queer Up Entertainment. I should stand erect for this one. Study reveals average penis sizes by state while highlighting confidence and connection in bed. A new report from Bespoke Surgical is sparking conversation about anatomy, confidence, intimacy across the United States. The private New York medical practice surveyed more than 3,000 adults, asking respondents with a penis to self-report flaccid and erect length. Findings show the average self-reported erect penis in length in the U.S. is 6.34. They got them above average. Inches growing about 3.9 inches from soft to erect. Iowa ranked highest at 7.13 inches. Maybe I'm from Iowa. And Florida reported average 6.52 inches. However, researchers say the data rely on self-reporting. The study also found 47% of gay men say size impacts confidence with a new partner. Over 80% of gay men reported comparing themselves to others. Still, emotional connection was ranked highest, while the penis size ranked last. I believe the whole story, but it's very hard to believe that the last sentence, because
you get it hard.
Hard, yeah. Dad jokes. Here we go. I got bear jokes going. When you're on Grindr and Scruff, no one's asking for an emotional connection. They're asking what size is your penis.
Yeah.
But you still, everybody's different, so you shouldn't judge a book by its cover.
Well, and also you're self-checking, right? You're measuring yourself and then sending in the data, right? If somebody ever asks me how much I weigh, in all my paperwork it says I'm 135. I'm 142, right? So I can't imagine that boys would say the exact length, you know? So, I what, I got to talk to a doctor about this. I need to next time I talk to my doctor, I'm going to ask him. It's like, is there anything you can do to make it bigger? Is it okay that it's the size? Is it Florida that it's scrunched, that it makes it less? You know what I mean? It's too sweaty here. Maybe that has something to do with it. So many different reasons, but you should be happy with whatever you have. How about that?
Oh, no.
If it's more than a handful, we're good.
These are today's headlines from Queer News Tonight, and our anchors represent the best of our LGBTQ family.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Don't forget to join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines.
We need your support. If our community is to grow and then thrive, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these type of LGBTQ stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your lead anchor, FayWhat, and I thank you for joining us on behalf of my fellow LGBTQ plus anchors here at Queer News Tonight, including Otto Zielke, Manëësh Chatman, John Hayden, and Will Haas. We'll see you daily at 8 p.m. to our LGBTQ plus world. We wish you a good night.
Good night.